All right, time for an update. I've been hard at work on the car while the weather has been uncharacteristically warm here in Florida. Usually around Christmas and the beginning of the year, it's pretty cold, somewhere in the 40s, 50s every day. It's been in the 70s and 80s. It's been pretty amazing. So I've been sweating out here working on the car, but let me show you the first time car's on the ground. Kind of looks like it's very high in the front. I have to adjust the coilovers, but look at that. It is on the ground. Rear end is in. Rear suspension is in. My assistant is here. Front brakes and steering are in. And the engine is in. Look at this thing. Gosh. It's so amazing looking, guys. Like, I can't believe it. Look at this thing. It's so huge. Look, even with the closeout panels, there's no room. Even with the closeout panels, this is a couple inches. You know, my hand. Now Kasi says I really need to have 2 1/4 to 2.5 inch primaries. Those are gigantic headers. I don't know how they're gonna fit in there, but apparently it's been done. Even on cars that are real Boss 429s that still have the stock suspension. So I guess they'll fit. Look at that. God, it's gorgeous. It's so huge. And what's really cool is there's not going to be very much more in this engine bay. I'm going to have my radiator with a couple of fans or one electric fan. You're going to see a coolant tube, one on the bottom, and a couple of wires more, and that's really it. You're really not going to see anything. When you pop this hood, just engine. I love that look. Not having the distributor there, man, I just love it. Looks so good. Wow. And let me lower the hood so you can see how the stacks look. So you can see them in there. Not a lot of clearance. Got, something like 2 inches or so from the top of the stack to the bottom of the scoop. Kasi said that's fine. Really don't want to go less than that. So, I don't want to raise the engine up. Not that I would, but not really much more room. And then there's actually a little more room to the back because the engine's tilted. But this is a major milestone, you guys. I have now a rolling chassis. Wow. So, next step is put the dash in and the steering column. Dash and steering column. Then what am I gonna do? Brake lines, which I've got over here. I bought all of the Mustangs to Fear, the pre-bent stuff. So I'm gonna put those in. Gotta put my roll bar back in. I am gonna build basically a rear cage that'll go down to the back, through. I'm gonna do that. Over here, let's see, what have we got? So I've got the Willwood portioning valve. Oh yeah. And there. Somehow this little thing is going to stop the car. Okay. It's really cool getting my space back in the shop. It looks like a real mess, but I've been busy. And I gotta lower the front. It is just too high. Back looks good. I kind of like the stance of the back. But I gotta lower the front. So the wheels are, they're aftermarket. They're Cobra R, like 95 Mustang Cobra R wheels. Are 17 inch, 17 by 8 in the front, 17 by 9 or 9.5 in the back. So they're going to be really perfect for just setting up the suspension and all that sort. I really wanted to have my 14-inch Magnum 500s on the car, but there's zero chance. So they wouldn't fit in the front because of the 6-piston calipers, and they wouldn't fit over the back over the 4-piston calipers. So I'll have those available. These are original. I've got, you know, all 4 with center caps. Decent shape. They'll clean up. But pretty exciting, guys, to have a rolling chassis. It's nice to do something different than align body panels and futz around with that. I still have those fitment issues in the front, which I'm dealing with. Like, I didn't even notice this gap here, and God, just, I mean, you can see the irregularities. I mean, look at this huge gap, you know, just gouge. I'm gonna try and get another original one like that one sooner than later. Either way, this is really wicked. I'm really excited. It's a major milestone. So to get it running, what's it gonna take? Transmission, drive shaft, fuel system, radiator, fans, exhaust. I have to put the dash in. I will need some kind of gauge cluster, right? So, you know, based on my math with all that stuff, it's about 50 grand, I think, for all that. Fuck, this thing is expensive. God. I think the transmission, I priced it out, was about 15, and that included clutch, flywheel, bell housing, shifter. The drive shaft's a couple grand. Gauge cluster is a couple grand, you know, like a Dakota Digital something. The exhaust is going to be 10 to 15. Fuel, I'm guessing 3 or 4. Cooling, the radiator that I was recommended, it's 2,500 or 3,000. So that's going to be another big chunk. Wow, look at that thing. I have a car. It's so crazy seeing it on the ground, guys. It is really nuts seeing it sitting there. So there were a couple issues with the Watts link, which I'll show right now in a couple of photos. These fittings go on the top of the Watts link, and I don't know if I bent them or if they were like that. I honestly don't know. I took it apart because I couldn't get things to move around. And then I put it back together and it worked fine, so I don't know. In the front, you can see here, and then this is what I had to do for the power steering rack. All right, so let's talk about the steering rack. So this has the Mustang Staffier long frame, Mustang 2 front suspension, independent front suspension, rack and rack and pinion. So when I had the engine built, had it ordered, I didn't really specify the oil pan. Apparently this system only works with a Canton oil pan, and it's limited to 7 quarts. This is a 10-quart oil pan. So I called John Cassie. I said, well, can we use a smaller one? We're like, well, maybe you could. There's really no way for them to make this shorter. If I wanted to modify it, they said the oil pump is right there. So the rack can only go in if I remove the control arm. There's no way else to get it in. And you'll notice I have removed the lines. They do not fit at all. I mean, there's really not a lot of space. When the engine is tilted up, when the transmission is in, that space is going to decrease. I might have to grind this down a little, and also in there. I won't know that till I have the transmission bolted in. But so I figured out a workaround with the lines. So what I've got here, these are the lines. I had a buddy of mine TIG weld some fittings that'll go like that, and then I've got this line here that just pushes right on, and I can make it any length I want. So I had him weld those on. I'm going to install these and get that worked out. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then let's see how it turned out. All right, fittings are installed in the relative locations. I had to bend a couple of them a little bit. Let's put the lines on now. All right, lines are in. I can't test for leaks or anything, but pretty happy. Looks good. Looks like they're supposed to be there. Awesome. So you see the fitment here. Everything looks pretty nice. I don't like this. I don't like that the control arm and the ball joint, I don't like it that it touches the spring. I just don't like it that that boot doesn't really seat on there very well. I'm gonna put it on the ground, see if I can shove it over. You can already see I don't know what kind of powder coat they used or paint or whatever, but it doesn't hold up to hammer. I've already had to, you know, move stuff, beat on it, adjust the steering, but the looks pretty straight, both sides. Looks pretty nice. So here's the Watts 4-link. It's in the car. It's really as centered as I could get it. I don't really have any experience with a suspension that's this complex or has this much adjustability, but it's pretty cool. So you can adjust all of these bars forward, back, and then the watts side to side. That's why you don't see a rear sway bar, right? Because it's not needed, because the Watts link takes that place, and this pivots, but it prevents the differential from sliding, you know, under power, deflecting side to side. I did lower the shock mount to the bottom hole. I've yet to see what that looks like. I haven't really experimented with the coilovers to mess around with ride height. I'm sure that'll happen at some point, but overall looks really nice. Having this transmission jack right here, essential for getting it to fit up in there, being able to make small adjustments. I really recommend, I mean, anybody, if you have a lift and you're doing this stuff on a lift, to get one of these jacks. I think I got it on Amazon, a couple $100 maybe. It goes really high, like 5 or 6 feet or something. So I use it in the 4-post lift in the front garage. That's where I do transmission stuff mainly, because I can stand up under a car. So really recommend getting one of these. You know, it's one of those tools that you're not going to use it that often, but when you do need it, man, it is indispensable. And also it has angle adjustments and stuff. But overall, really like the look of this thing. It looks so beefy. And these are 275s, the tires. I still haven't rolled the fender, the rear quarters. So there's a little bit more space there. And then, I mean, you can see there's at least around 2 inches or so more that the offset can go towards the center. So I should be able to fit significantly wider wheels and tires. I think these tires, I mean, these wheels are 9-inch wide, and they look like 10-inch wide tires. So I should be able to fit something pretty big. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weld the Watts link in, the rear bracing. I'm going to leave the bolts. I'm going to cut the extra threads off. I'm going to weld around them. I'm going to weld up in here. I'm going to weld here, fill in that gap. Also in the front here, this is the long frame, right? And I'm just going to weld the two together. So that will be, as if it's one piece. Looks really good. I don't know yet, but it doesn't look like, hey buddy, it does not look like the exhaust is going to be able to go up and over the differential. I don't think it's going to fit, so it might have to go just under. I'm still not 100% certain what I want to do with the exhaust, but I don't think there's going to be room. I mean, there might be. Once I put it on the ground, I'll have a better idea. I just hate the idea of being able to see any of the exhaust under the car, like from the side or from the back. I think it's going to be inevitable, though, because I have to run 3-inch pipes on each side, and those 3-inch pipes are going to be bigger than, for example, you can see the long frame. It only dips below the floor pan, 2 inches or so. I really don't want the exhaust to be noticeable. Maybe I'll have it, maybe I'll paint it black so you just can't see it. I don't want to see any of that. I don't like that look of like headers sticking way down. So we'll see. You can see the oil pan there. It's low. I'm gonna have to figure out a skid plate for it, something like that. Pretty cool though. So there it is. Rolling chassis. Boss 9 tribute car. Coming along, guys. Thanks for being part of this journey with me. All right, I'm going to get back to it.